I've been selling on eBay for just over a year now, and I still have yet to get my first negative review with over 200 positive reviews. And one of the main reasons I have so many of these positive reviews really comes down to the way I package and ship my cards out. So today I'm going to be teaching you how I do that, the processes that I use, so that way you can also do the same. All right, so we are back here at my desk, and this is where I ship stuff personally. Please don't get overwhelmed. I know there's a lot of stuff on screen right now. I'm going to explain and cover everything, so let's get into it. Undeniably, the first step in the shipping process is someone has to purchase something from you. eBay is going to provide you with the label after they purchase something, and it's going to look like one of two examples I have here. For the most part, this is all I've ever seen. This one right here will look something like valued $20 and under. This is the plain white envelope, eBay envelope, PWE, whatever you call it. That is what this shipping label will look like. Anything over that $20 value, I think even with tax included, is going to look something like this. Now, this is very important that you distinguish what the difference is of these two. Now, eBay provides us with a label, but we still have to print it some way or another. Me personally, I use this thermal label printer, which works really good for me. I've had no issues with it, except for a little bit of the startup, but I would highly recommend a thermal label printer. I started out by using a regular printer. I bought one for like $50, and in no time it ran out of ink. And honestly, it was probably just as much money, or if not even cheaper, to go buy another printer versus buying ink cartridges. I've looked up some videos and it seems like a huge scam. So I would just recommend this, but it doesn't hurt to get started using a printer you already have for the meantime. The only difference is this prints out actual adhesive labels versus I don't think most printers, they just print out printer paper. So I would have to cut it out every single time, every single corner, all around the label, and then tape it, and I would waterproof it. Let me show you what tape I used. I used some clear tape, and I'd put it over the entirety of the label, so that way it would kind of make it like weather and waterproof. So that's definitely one method you can do. A more advanced method would definitely be, not even advanced, I would say an easier. It's just a little more upfront cost. So whatever works for you, either one will do. So now that we have a label printed, kind of like I talked about earlier, the reason why this is important is because these types of labels here are going to be used for plain white envelopes, anything up to $20. This works really well, in my opinion. I really like these envelopes. I'll link them down in the description where I buy them from. I'm sure there's probably much better options. This was the first one I came across. And this works really well. It's a little thicker, so that way when you do put cards inside it, it is a little more protected. It's really nice. I'll show you how that works in a second. All right, so let's say we have some cards here. I'm going to show you how to use a plain white envelope. I put everything in a team bag. Let's say we had one card. I'm just going to put the one card in the team bag, fold it up like that. There's a little adhesive strip I can remove. For a plain white envelope, typically, some people will ask if you combine ship. I would at most probably do like 2 to 3 cards to play it safe in their top loaders if they're 35 point thickness. Anything more than that, the machines aren't going to like. They have to go through machines when they're in these. I would say probably 2 max to be safe. Anything more than that, I would upgrade the shipping to the next one because they are really picky. I've never had anything get kicked back with a thicker patch card or with 2 cards though. Then what I would do, so we folded that up in its team bag, I would remove this adhesive and then we fold this over. It already gives us a nice line. I would do that. And then I'm going to take this off because it's basically a sticker. And I like to place it on this side where we fold it over just to give it a little extra adhesive in case you got a bad adhesive strip here. And the best part, makes it super easy for people to open these. They just pull the strip along the edge there. And that is how I ship a plain white envelope card. All right, now touching on this type of label. This is going to be your upgraded shipping. As you can see here, it has USPS Ground Advantage. This is for anything over $20 or over, or if you are planning on shipping in a mag or a slab. I don't think you can get away with these in the plain white envelope. I haven't tried it, and I'm not going to try it. So then I'll also link these down in the bio. These are the ones that I highly recommend, bubble mailers. Basically, very similar process, just a different type of envelope. So if we were going to, I don't have team bags that fit the slabs, but let's say we were going to ship this Aiden O'Connell card, tear that off, and then ideally you want to get this as far down as possible into the bag, kind of take out all the air, get this real tight in there. Okay. Now we'll put it in our bubble mailer. You can also use, I need to go buy some more of this, but you can definitely use some sort of cardboard off the edge of boxes, or some companies even make that, like this is Hobby Armor. I think there's, what's another one, like Card Guard or something like that, and kind of just to protect whatever's in here. There's no rule on, I don't think, I mean, yeah, basically these, there is a rule on these. They can only be like, I don't even know what it is, but is it a 1/4 inch? I can't remember, but it's some sort of like width. It can't be like bulging out on either side, and it can only be so thick. So if you're worried about that, upgrade it to this. This is where shipping is like $5 to $6 roughly on average. This is your like $1.32 shipping, $1.32. All right, so now that we have that in the bubble mailer, then we would rip off this adhesive, and I like, see all this empty space? You can already see we move this all the way to the bottom, and I move this all the way down and tuck that. Your goal in both of these scenarios, more so these ones though, because there's always probably going to be room. This, if you really wanted to get down to it, this protects it really well, but you could like tape it down so it doesn't move around a lot. But especially these, you don't want cards moving around a lot, because that is how they get prone to damage. And I've never had any issues doing this. So I fold it down, I got rid of all the wasted space. Now remember, this adhesive is off, so we put that there. Now we grab our label, and again, I'm putting it right over that in case it's a bad strip or something like that, and we're gonna tack it on there. Now it can kind of form with the thing. I get most of the good information right on the top of it. It's okay if some of the top and the bottom overlap, but ideally, whoever is handling this package, the post office, is able to read most of the important information and scan the barcode on what you would consider the top or the label side of the package. Some additional items I want to throw in here. Clear tape works really well. Like I said earlier, if you're printing on a printer to kind of waterproof or weatherproof, or just make your label a little more durable. I don't think this is not necessary on a sticker label or an adhesive label. But another time I do use this is along these sides sometimes. It's kind of nice to kind of close this up. The tape job could look a little messy because any, you know, slight imperfection is going to leave a little like crease in it, and air is trying to find its way into every nook and cranny. So I don't know, it's kind of up to you, but sometimes I think it looks a little nicer than, you know, this is as far down as it goes right now, than something like this. If it was just kind of like maybe something more like that, I don't know, personal preference, something that is kind of up to you. Again, another type of tape, masking tape. This one's really dirty and gross. And again, you can use that to secure cards down in place. Another time you can use that is this example I showed you earlier. Sorry about that. Is you can tape each corner, and then you can, I mean, this would be before you tape it. You put your cards in their team bag inside of this slot, and then you tape each of the 4 sides, so that way it's double-sided cardboard. That's like the elite premier way to do. If you're doing something over $20 in value, ideally it should be getting 2 pieces of cardboard with it and a team bag. That's like how you really set yourself aside. I'll be honest, I don't even always do that. I do try to at least have 1, so it's a little bit protected. I've heard of mag touch, or what is it called? I can't even think of it. These things, the hard case mags. I've heard of them shattering when there's like no protection in them, because if you think about it, it is kind of like it's not glass, it's like a thicker plastic. But if you think about this, like you drop this from 5 to 6 feet, if someone accidentally mishandles it or whatever the case may be, These are really thin. So honestly, even though it's a bubble mailer, there's some like a little bit of bubble wrap kind of protecting it. But against one of these at a decent height, it's probably going to shatter. So if you can find something to kind of absorb that, cardboard is a great option. You could rip the inner things of a box. You could just rip this out and make little squares with them. That's kind of what I do sometimes if I'm running low. But yes, that's something you should definitely think about doing. And I'm not sure if I said this already, but if you do have some sort of graded slab, they should go in these, your upgraded shipping, your $5 shipping. And ideally there are like bigger team bags. The team bags that I bought, they don't quite fit slabs. Sometimes, or actually I think all the time, I've gotten better about doing this. Just because they don't fit, I'll still give them one to add some protection, because these can chip and crack really easily. And just anything you can do shows the buyer that you are taking good care of these cards and that they can trust you. So sometimes I'll just kind of go like this. This is what I've been doing as recently. I won't close the top of it to get any adhesive on the actual case itself, but at least, you know, it's better than nothing. These are the envelopes I used to use. These are called number 6 envelopes. As you can see, super thin. These ones definitely use masking tape to tape these down. They would move around a lot with inside them, so tape those down if you can. The other envelopes, they don't really tend to do that. And honestly, none of these supplies cost a lot of money. It's more cost effective to buy 100 or 200 of these at a time. So that's what I do. And that's when it gets to be a little bit of money, but over time, like, you know, when you actually are selling multiple items a day for most of the days out of the week, like it makes the most sense. Additionally, these are the bubble mailers I started out with. Let's see, number 0, 6 by 9 inches. These have a lot more bubble stuff inside of them, bubble mailer material. So I feel like these handle better. Sometimes I use these on my really expensive cards just because these are really thin and there is not really much padding to them. So these are nice, especially if I get like a bigger lot where I can't fit this many cards inside of that. Then I'll put it in something like this. And again, from the top down, removing as much of that extra space for the cards to move around as possible. And then this one requires a lot more of that clear tape. I used to go in like thirds. I put it somewhere in the middle, flip it this way, flip it that way, and then I put the label on the very nice flat side there. But definitely tape this one down on both the top and the bottom once that's all formulated. And then also this seam isn't as strong as the other ones that I currently use, so I also tape that down. But every little thing you do in the entire shipping process shows your buyers that you are willing to go the extra step and the extra mile, and that's when they're honestly going to leave the reviews. So if you do, you know, you package these the correct way and you do a lot of the things that I'm talking about, I'm constantly getting positive feedbacks. I think I have over 200 feedbacks. Every single one is positive, and I've only sold maybe like 250 to 300 items. So that's actually really good when you consider, I don't know how common or what the typical percentage is, but that's really good if you think about that. So those are just some of my tips. That's how I ship cards on eBay. Let me know if you have any questions that, you know, maybe something I forgot to cover or didn't cover at all in this video. Share your experiences. Have you ever had somebody like send you cards that, you know, something went wrong, some horror story, or, you know, how were your experiences if you bought cards on eBay or sold cards on eBay? Like, you know, just let me know what you guys think. Yeah, thanks so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Have a great rest of your day. Peace out.